So one approach you can take is the approach that they teach you in the career section of the high school. I went to high school in America, and they said you got to have your resume just perfect with the right margins, and it can't have a typo, and it's got to have all the right letters and words. And don't forget that the machines and the robots are scanning the resumes now, so you have to talk robot language. You've got to get the keywords in there so that you can get in front of someone, so that finally a human could look at it for half a second and go, nope. That's what a resume is. And they tell you that's like the primary way to get a job. What if you just had a relationship with the CEO where they're like, we want Jonathan Tennis, make him a position, give him an offer. So I call the first version with the resume like standing outside in a line, waiting to go in the front door that they're all pointing to. You know, every company says, apply online, we'll call you. You know, everyone's like, go and stand in line, do things the way that we're telling you to do. And then we're going to take your resume and never look at it. Or you can go around the velvet rope, through the side entrance, right into the VIP section and talk to the people in power. I never liked trying to summarize how marvelous I am in a single sheet of paper, Times New Roman size 12 font with 8.5 by 11 paper and a half an inch of margin and 0 typos for the love of God. No. What I like is I like to stand in front of the room and teach what I know best. So I started doing that when I was in my young 20s. I just started standing in front of rooms of people and teaching what I know best. Time management, communication skills, leadership skills, sales skills. And I had people coming up to me afterwards and saying, I want to offer you a job. Can you do consulting? Do you do coaching? And I started to build what's now called a personal brand, which is a reputation that people recognize and know me and trust me, sometimes before they even meet me. So I found one of the most potent networking methods is public speaking. So I'll get to that today in today's training. Today's training, I will share with you how I went from 0 contacts in a new country and a new city to over 10,000 contacts, relationships in a new country and a new city, and multiple job offers coming at me all the time. What I've developed for myself is a business where I now sell my expertise through coaching, through courses, through consulting, where I think of myself as I have multiple clients, multiple sources of revenue, whereas I used to think about having a job like it's like you have one client who pays you every 2 weeks. You can always have multiple clients if you want to have some consulting gigs on the side, or why not do what the kids are doing these days? They call it job stacking. You get multiple full-time jobs remote and you just say, yeah, boss, I did everything today to 3 different bosses and take 3 different paychecks. You can. And what will help you is a strong personal brand and a strong network. So let's look at what your network looks like right now. I recommend taking stock of the numbers. How many contacts are in your phone? How many contacts are on your Facebook? How many contacts are on your LinkedIn? And of course, you know this by now if you've been on LinkedIn. It's not a matter of getting hundreds and hundreds of LinkedIn connections and thousands of LinkedIn connections. What is that really worth to you? Not really worth anything if you don't really know who these people are. Remember, each contact must be multiplied by the depth of trust that you have on a scale of 0 to 10 with that person. I used to think when social media came out, I should just get as many LinkedIn friends and Facebook friends as I possibly can, because that'll look like I have a lot of friends, but it just means I have a lot of strangers who've agreed to be my LinkedIn person. So I'm talking about real relationships. So what's a real relationship? Well, let me share with you what I consider a spectrum of channels of media that go from least personal to most personal. Media is the connection, all right? So right now we're on what's called a video call. You're seeing me live. At least I'm with you live, and I'm here with Coach Mo and Jonathan and Ahmed. I encourage anyone else to please turn on your cameras. It will increase our connection, and you'll be more present for the training. That's video call. Now, let's say I remove the video. We've got a phone call, a live phone call. How many people have you actually had a live phone call with? Not as many as all those connections, right? So once you have a live phone call with someone, it takes the relationship to the next level. What's before the live phone call? Text message, email. Emails and text messages are the least personal communications that exist. It's not the best way to build a relationship. What's better is a phone call. Think about, you meet someone. Let's take online dating for an example. Let's say you're swiping and you meet someone, you match someone. You're going to go from chatting to talking on the phone to meeting in person, and the relationship progresses. Same thing with professional relationships. Some people you only know over emails. And then eventually one day the relationship takes the next level where you get on the phone with each other. For some reason you call. If you ever want to improve the relationship of someone you're emailing with, call them. If you ever want to improve the relationship of someone you're just having phone calls with, video call them, or send them a voice note, or send them a video message. Now you're in the kind of close friend territory. Think about how many people have you sent a voice note to in your whole life? It's not a lot of people, and it's the closest people you know, right? Think about how many people you've recorded a selfie video and sent it to them. That's like really close family and friends. You see how the medium kind of dictates the closeness of the relationship. Now think about how many people you've met in person, where you've gone one-on-one and you've had a one-on-one coffee with this person, or you had a one-on-one lunch with this person. We are now in the territory of the very exclusive people. Now, finally, the highest level of deepening connection is like going on a road trip together, or going camping together, or going on a cruise together, where you're spending multiple nights, multiple meals in a new environment. That's why retreats, the people that when you go to a retreat, you're like so close to these people. It's like, the closest people in your world, because you've broken bread multiple days. You've gone through a journey together. So when I think about who do I want to deepen my relationship with, if I have 100 relationships or 1,000 relationships, if I can identify the top 10 people that I want to get closer with for whatever reason, for my reasons, what would I do to deepen those relationships? Well, I might call them, or send them a video, selfie video, or make a FaceTime call, or organize that we get together for a coffee or a hike or a lunch. Or I might even say, let's go on a road trip. You can do the same professionally. How can you get in the same space as the people that you want to build the relationships with? So I'm gonna tell you one thing to write down. This is a good one to write down. If you're taking notes, write this down. Get out of the house. Get out of the house. Lots of meetings happen out of the house. So, you're going to burn out if you're just like clicking on LinkedIn people and doing Zoom calls and, not really meeting people. So get out of the house, and I'll give you a little tip. Ahmed, you're in Ottawa, right? Ottawa, yes. Ahmed invited me to go to the nicest gym in Ottawa called Movati.
Yeah.
You still with Movati?
Yeah, I'm still with Movati, yeah.
Okay. So immediately I know, okay, we're going to go do something fun, invigorating. It's a high-end environment. Movati I would say it was the nicest gym in Ottawa. And that was a professional meeting. We were just going to go work out together. Never ended up coming together. But I recently got a membership to what I call the new nicest gym in Ottawa, called Altea. Have you been, Ahmed?
No, what's that?
Altea. It's on Carling. It's used to be an old Canadian Tire. They converted it. It is the best gym in all of Ottawa.
Okay.
Pickleball courts. Today I get a phone call from a very wealthy entrepreneur, drives a Ferrari, travels all the time, calls me and says, Majid, you want to do pickleball at 1:00? Done.
Wow.
And so I'm doing my networking over pickleball, which is good for my Sunday activity. And everyone there is paying more than everyone else in Ottawa for the gyms. It's the most expensive membership. So I know if I'm meeting someone in this gym, what do I know about them? They care about exercising and health and fitness. That's a good filter for me. They've got money. That's good. I've personally stopped going to networking events that are free. I want to go to networking events that cost $100 because the people are there doing well, right? So when you think about who you want to meet, get out of the house and do activities that you enjoy. Like I love pickleball. So not only am I going to get to spend good time with this successful entrepreneur, but I'm going to do it in a good mood, not in a, geez, I don't really want to be here. So get out of the house and do stuff you love. Now, when we were kids, we called this making friends. You meet people, you want to play baseball? Yeah, let's play baseball. We're doing something we like together. And then how do we follow up with those friends? Well, when I was a kid, we would go to their house and we would ring the doorbell and we say, are they home? Can they come outside? Now we got phones. So with the phones, we got to somehow exchange contact information. But what do we do? Are we going to do a LinkedIn connection? Are we going to do a phone number? Are we going to do an email address? Am I giving you a business card? What are we doing here? I've always been a fan of a business card. I love a business card because it allows me to be creative and expressive. And I used to get the cheap one that said free from Vistaprint on the back printed on it. Now I get the nicest business cards I have because I want people to take my card and go, wow. Because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So I wear this golden microphone pin, 24 karat gold microphone so that I can talk about my public speaking business. I wear a purple suit so that you can't not say, whoa, purple suit. What's that? You know, it's different. I want to be different because different is better than better. I want to be unforgettable. So once we do a contact information exchange, the relationship can begin, right? Now we live in this world 2025 where as I'm live here with you, there are tens of thousands of people watching my different videos in different places. Like my little marketing robots working for me out there. So I've built what's called a personal brand, which the word personal brand is kind of like a modern way of saying reputation. But I have this content that is this like expression of me and my thought and my energy and my ideas that are going onto people's screens regularly and on every platform. So I've had people tell me, Majid, I keep seeing you everywhere, including in my dreams. And I'll share with you a little bit what you can do to build a personal brand with content. But the reason why I bring that up at this point is once you meet someone, you've decided that you're going to exchange contact information, then your relationship actually continues online through your personal brand. They see you here, they see you there, they see you here, they see you there. Then the next time they see you, there's been like 10 touch points. So that there's a possibility for that if you're willing to participate in this social media personal brand stuff. I highly recommend you do. It's a great way to create a lot of leverage and authority for yourself. So I'll give you some simple recommendations how you can get started with that. So before we get into exchanging contact information, which is a delicate moment, I'll go back to dating for a moment. You walk up to a beautiful woman, you say, hello, you're beautiful. Can I have your phone number? What if she says no? What if you didn't say the right words? Well, why would she give you the phone number? Because somehow she sees some value in having a relationship with you. So you actually do need to establish value with people before you're going to ask for contact information, right? So how do you find out what's valuable? Any ideas?
You ask questions and listen.
Ask questions and listen. What's a good question to ask someone, Jonathan?
I don't know. Got put on the spot there. I just lost it.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, absolutely.
How'd you hear about this meeting?
Ahmed and I are friends, former colleagues at Microsoft. We met while we were both there, and I like giving back to the community. So when he said he was doing this, I said, sure, absolutely. Sundays are a great time to give back.
So you're here to give back.
I am. Well, and I also am job searching. So I mean, it doesn't hurt. You can do both at the same time.
Great. Love it. So giving back, job searching, old friend with Ahmed from Microsoft. Cool. So I just used a variation of the classic, do you come to this bar often? Have you ever been here before? Because one thing I know about Jonathan and I for sure is that we're both here. So that tends to be where conversations start. Is like, how did you get here? How do you know the host? How did you hear about this? Have you been to this before? That's usually where we start because we try to find something in common. Then we can say, where are you from? Oh, you're from there? Oh, I've been there. Or I'm from there too. Okay, so now we're finding ways that we know each other, we can trust each other. Because we're working with these primitive brains that are somehow on the alert that maybe this person is dangerous. We don't know yet. Until we find that they're safe, usually because we figure they're safe because they're like us. Oh, you're here, I'm here. Oh, you're friends with Ahmed, I'm friends with Ahmed. Oh, you're from that place, I'm from that place. I've been there too. My urge was to tell you, Jonathan, as you mentioned Microsoft, I've been on the Microsoft stage thanks to Ahmed to present to the global development, professional development. And now we're like one layer more connected and deeper connected, right? Excuse me. That's how we start conversations with strangers. If we're both at an event, I like to approach someone with a little confidence. I'll dress as well as I can so my clothes can give me as much confidence as possible. And I'll start with something like, hello, I don't think we've met. My name is Majid. If I'm in an environment where meeting people is the norm, like a party or a networking event. Now, to establish value, I want to know, what is your biggest challenge right now? Because if you have a challenge, maybe I can help, or maybe I know someone who can help. If you have a big challenge, then it must be keeping you up at night. Right now means it's an urgent challenge right now. Now, I kind of have to earn my way into that question. I can't say, hi, my name's Majid. What's your name, Jonathan? Hi, Jonathan. Hey, what's your biggest challenge right now, Jonathan? That's like we're jumping into the deep end, right? I got to start with, so how'd you arrive here? And then I might shift into, so that's kind of the past. If I shift into the future, where are you headed? What are you looking forward to? I like to ask the question, what are you most excited about these days? Or what are you most excited about in the next 90 days? Because this question is guiding to a positive vision. Now, if I want to establish how I can be of service to this person, if I asked you right now, Jonathan, is there anything I can do to support you? Your answer is probably no, because if we were just meeting, I don't know what can you do. Tell me about you. What do you do? I mean, I don't know how I can support you. But if I asked you, what's your biggest challenge right now? Then immediately I can diagnose and see if I can be of service. So we want to find some way that either I can be of service, or we might get to talking and Jonathan says, oh man, I watched this tennis documentary last week and it's amazing and I can't wait to play more tennis this week. And I go, what's the name of that documentary? Could you send it to me when you get home? And now we have this shared interest in a tennis documentary. Or I might say, we should totally play tennis sometime. I love tennis. Let's exchange contact information. At that point, we've found a reason to keep in touch. So we're looking for a reason to keep in touch. I like the reason of, I want to help you with your problems. Who can I introduce you to? So that's what I'm kind of searching for in a conversation, is like, why should we continue this? Because if I can't establish a reason why we should continue a conversation, then it was like, hey, nice to meet you. See you later. Yeah. So if I know Jonathan's looking for a job, I might say, what kind of job are you looking for? And I say, can I keep your contact information? If I hear something, can I send them your way? Great, because now it's in context of how I could be helpful to you. So we need to establish this reason for us to be connecting. Why are we connecting here? Now, once we have a connection, what do we do? Here's what I like to do. If I got an iPhone, I pull out my iPhone, I hold my iPhone to their iPhone, and they're like, what are you doing? And then it vibrates and it goes ding, and they go, oh my gosh, how did you do that? And now we share each other's contact information. And this like works like 80% of the time if both people have an iPhone. Otherwise, there's, scan my QR code or let me text you my contact card or whatever that is. Sure, make sure your contact information is in their phone, but much more important is that their contact information is in your phone because you're the leader and you're going to follow up. You're the professional. And if you give someone else your contact information and hope they're going to contact you, that's not a good plan. So I get their contact information. Now, if they give me email address, I have a feeling they don't like me and they never want to talk to me again because what's an email address? If they give me their cell phone number, now I feel like we're buddies. I'm going to take a selfie picture. I'm going to take my phone out. I'm going to go in selfie mode. I'm going to say, hey, let me take a picture of us. I'll text it to you so we can remember this special moment. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, snap. I've texted. I've already texted this person and I texted this guy a selfie. What are we like? Best friends already? Apparently. Now I have a sent message, a sent phone, and a saved phone number. Is that a relationship? No, that's a contact. And it's my responsibility to develop this contact into a relationship where we trust each other, we can do business together. Typically, I will have something to invite people to at some point in the future. I'm having a party at my house on Saturday. It's called Portals of Potential. Starts at 3 p.m. It's on Saturday, the 16th of August. And I have a little shortcut code in my phone where I could write //party. And it'll give you the code to RSVP. This is the one thing I'm going to invite anybody I meet to. Pro tip, have something to invite people to. That is not a one-on-one appointment, but it's a place where not only can you develop the relationship, but you can control the environment and you can add value to that person by introducing people that are coming to your event. So whether it's a shared dinner or anything that you're going to that you can invite people to, make that the thing you invite people to. So now I've got a text message, I've got a saved phone number, I can invite this person to the party, 80% chance they're not available or they can't make it or whatever. But I've advanced the relationship because I just invited them to the party. That means I trust them enough to introduce them to my friends. Now, likely they're going to subscribe to some social media of mine, and then they're going to start seeing me every day on their phone. The way I get people to see me every day on my phone is I do something like a podcast interview where I get a recording and then I stick it in this AI clip maker that makes 20 clips that are cut for virality score, subtitled, animated, automatically, and I have an assistant posting it on every platform every day. So there's a clip of me going on the internet, every platform, every day. Which means if you meet me, you're going to see me every day. Until the next time we see each other. So, who do you need to meet? What rooms do you want to get in? And how do you develop the relationships of the people that you meet? So something you can do right now is take stock of who you already know. Go through your calendar, go through your recently sent text messages all the way back to the beginning of when you had the phone. Look at your sent emails. Look at your Facebook friends, look at your LinkedIn contacts, and start to make a short list of the 20 people that are the most likely that can advance you towards your goals. Let's call these people the 20 champions. So if you're taking notes and you're planning to implement what you're learning here today, please write down 20 champions. And your task is to make a list of 20 names of people that are the most likely people that can help you get to where you want to go. Either because they're the most connected, they have opportunities, or because they know you do very good work, or because they are very well connected, and you want to contact them, text message, email, phone call, face-to-face meeting, whatever makes sense, and tell them that you value your relationship and you want to be of service to them. The more you serve to them, the more they want to serve to you. You don't have to ask them for help. You can say, what can I do to support you? And people should know exactly what you want, which means you should know exactly what you want. If someone comes to you and says, I can help you get what you want, what do you want? You got to be ready. So think of your network as the sum total of all the people who you have a relationship with, which we could define as you know them and they know you. I've got names in my phone. I don't really know them. I can't even remember how are they there. That's not a relationship. That's a contact. And how can you increase value to your network? One is by having an ongoing understanding at the individual level of how you can help them. What do they want? What do they need? And how you can help them. See how many more people you can help that you already know. The second way is by producing content that is a personal brand, that is a way for you to develop the relationship with people at scale. So what does that mean exactly? Well, I built my business on selfie videos. iPhone out, hand fully extended, press record or go live, and then post it. It could be about what you're doing. It could be about what you're learning. It could be about what you're looking for. It could be some tips about what you think could be helpful. And people should get to know your expertise through your videos. So as they get to know you, they get to know your life, they get to know your expertise, everybody starts to trust you more. And this is really fast and very effective. I was hosting an event in New York 3 weeks ago. I had a guy called Stephen Klein. He hates the sound of his voice, doesn't want to be on video. He's not a video guy. He's not a social media guy, but he's a really good salesperson. And he's in the health and wellness field. And so we got him to do like a 1-minute video. I held the camera. He talked to the camera. We uploaded it to Instagram. And he doesn't have a bunch of followers. He's not famous. He doesn't have thousands of followers. He might have 500 followers on Instagram or something like this. Within 30 minutes, his phone rings. There's a guy who says, I want you to come speak at this conference in Chicago. I want you to be here in 3 weeks. You're when you popped up on my feed, I remembered I've been meaning to call you. Boom. And you'll find, if you haven't done this, once you post a few videos online, everybody you know will have watched those videos if they're following you on their social media. And it'll kind of jog them out of give them a new understanding of who you are. I think it's a great tool. Doesn't cost anything. The only thing you have to come over your fear of what are people going to think about you. So when I was, I wrote a book on networking, I built a course on networking, and I was giving trainings on networking 10 years ago. And the landscape of social media is very different now, where it's a very big opportunity to be on video on the platforms that people see you on, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, or anything else, because one, it's a powerful way for them to get to know you. That's a really safe way for them to get to know you. But it also puts you in a category of people who are producers, influencers, leaders, because if you think about social media, it's mostly consumers. People watching, some of them are commenting, some of them are liking, some of them are sharing, but most of the people who use social media are not producing the videos, putting the content, making the posts, writing the articles. Most of the people are not doing that. So when you enter into that club, you're already in elite. So when you apply to a job or you have an interview and they Google you and they find, oh, here's a video, there's an article, there's a video, people are commenting, people are liking, it adds credibility and it builds a relationship. So that's something that's kind of modern about networking, is that when you meet someone in person, they're likely going to have an experience of you online through their phone between the next time talking to you and seeing you. So if you wanted to control that experience, you might ask yourself, what are 3 words that I want people to describe me as? And if you're following along, now's a good time to write down what 3 words you want people to describe you as. So Jonathan, Mo, Ahmed, write this down. 3 words. I'll tell you the words that I want people to describe me as. I'll tell you the 3 that I chose. You pick your 3 first. For those of you not on video, chat them into the chat box. What are your 3 words that you want people to describe you as? Veteran, volunteer, mentor, says Jonathan. Great.
having grown up in America, we love to thank folks for their first service. And I don't really like to focus on that too much. But when it comes to remembering me, and if it helps me get a job, I'll absolutely, I'll take advantage of, I'll leverage that, I'll use that. And then the volunteer and mentoring thing, I think is just a way to also kind of see who I am. Because, there's 10,000 program managers right now looking for jobs in DC. How do I set myself apart? How do I distinguish myself from those, differentiate myself?
Right. I love the veteran for you. I'm familiar with the American sentiment. I grew up in America. I would expect you to say yes, sir, and no, sir, every time you say anything, because I've watched a few military movies, so that makes me qualified to say what a soldier. That's the image. The image of a soldier for me is from movies. Yeah. So, if one of my words was father, because it's a big part of who I am, I'm always talking about my kids. I'm always planning for my kids. I'm responsible. I'm, caring. That's father, right? So I'll tell you my words. Mine are bold, smart, and fun. Bold, smart, and fun. I came up with these one day. I was doing this exercise. I thought bold, smart, fun. So that's why I wear a purple suit. That's why I crack jokes. That's why I try to be a little intellectual. And so I could think to myself, what would I have to do or say or be to be perceived as bold, smart, and fun? What actions can I take that are aligned to my values of being bold, smart, and fun? It's just helpful to know these words. Because as you think about your reputation amongst your network, you want to think about what do they think of you? All right, so we've got Coach Mo, attentive, dependable, and coach. So dependable, Coach Mo, I recommend when you write emails, start with the phrase, as promised. When you're delivering something, when you're sending something that you said you would do, because a dependable person, DWISY would. DWISY would is an acronym. Do what you said you would do. DWISY would. Do what you said you would do. If you want to build trust with people, make clear promises and keep them. Unclear promises, I'll try, I'll do my best. Hopefully I'll get there around 2:00-ish, maybe, depending on traffic, versus I'll be there early. You can count on me. I'll be there at 1:45 so that we can start on time at 2. Reliable, dependable, keeps promises, makes promises, and keeps them. The opposite of clear promises is slippery language. Lisa is conscientious, customer-focused, and thorough. Great. Mohammed is trustworthy, humble, kind. Omar, dreamer, one-man show. Interesting. Great. Ahmed, supporter, connector, friendly. Great. So by the way, these are kind of like the guideposts for your social media content. Because the social media content is how people can get to learn from you kind of from a safe distance when they're not around you often. People are piecing together the puzzle of who you are from what they can see, what they can observe, what they can find. And so if you want to guide them to the conclusion that you are not just trustworthy, but you're also these other values, these other things that you want to be known for, Adam, smart, educated, well-cultured. Adam, when you're on a Zoom call, which is how a lot of people experience us now, perhaps having a bookshelf behind you will help with the subliminal messaging that this guy is cultured and intellectual. Smart, educated, well-cultured. You might like phrases like studies show, a recent study has demonstrated, according to science, as you speak so smart, educated, and well-cultured. Ash is reliable, confident, and kind, and empathetical. Great. So now we know how we want to be perceived. You can now think about how people might wrongly perceive us based on what they're seeing. Are they seeing how you dress that doesn't align to those words? Are they seeing how you show up that doesn't align to those words? So as you create the character of who you are in your own mind, your self-image, your self-perception, your self-concept, make the character these things that you're describing, that you would like to be known as. So networking. It's the art and science of meeting new people, following up with those people after you have permission to contact them, their contact information, becoming a valuable relationship in their life because you're helping them solve problems, helping them get what they want. Introductions are an art. I like when introductions are made now. I do not like when introductions are made later. Because if I say I'll introduce you to someone later, I've just given myself a project. If I ask you to introduce me to someone else later, I've given you a project. I don't like projects. I like stuff getting done. So if I'm talking to someone and I say, oh my God, you need to meet Mark. First thing I'll do is I'll probably pull out my phone and call Mark. I say, hey, Mark, I'm sitting here with Jonathan Tennis. We just talked. Jonathan asked me, who is the best butcher in town? And of course, I said, Mark, I'm calling you. How the heck are you? I'm demonstrating the depth of friendship that we have through my tone. I'm here with Jonathan. He's throwing a party next week. He needs 10 tomahawk steaks. I know you can get it done, Mark. Can you give Jonathan the best deal in town? Yeah, okay, great. He's going to head over tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to send you a text message right now with Jonathan's contact information. I'm going to do a 3-way text. Thanks, Mark. You're the best. See you at poker night next week. That's a live, synchronous channel of communication. Synchronous means it's happening right now. Live. Asynchronous is channels of communication that are not happening at the same time, like text messages back and forth, emails back and forth. So my first attempt is going to be a synchronous. I might even do a FaceTime call. Mark, check this out. I'm sitting next to Jonathan. Mark, Jonathan's throwing a party next week. He needs 10 tomahawk steaks. Can you hook him up? You're the best butcher. Okay, see you later. I might do a selfie video and text it to him. I'm going to do a 3-way connection with Mark. And I'm going to say, Jonathan is the grill master extraordinaire. He's having a very important event. And he asked, who's the best butcher in town? And Mark, I said, it's you. This introduction is complimentary to both parties. It's a bit chummy. I do this to kind of like break the ice a little bit in the introduction to kind of show that we're all kind of buddies already, even though you don't know each other. And I'll put kind of both, just put the both in the best possible light. If I'm doing a 3-way text message, again, I want to do it now because not only do I Dwizzywood, I do what I said I would do, but I do things now. A lot of people don't do what they said they would do, and a lot of people don't do things now. They make promises, and then they don't keep them, and you have to follow up with them. So if I'm going to do an introduction, I want to do it now and get it done. Now, if I'm asking someone else to introduce me, I might say, let me write the email for you, and you can just forward it. And they usually say, thank God. When I send an email, I'll do first name, open parentheses, close parentheses, or actually, sorry, less than, greater than. It'll look like this. If I'm introducing Ahmed to Jonathan, it looks like this. You see, I do the little greater than, less than. Didn't mean to make a capital O there for Jonathan. But I'm basically like, Ahmed meet Jonathan, Jonathan meet Ahmed. This is an email. If I write the email, I say, Ahmed, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Jonathan. Jonathan is the tech lead at Microsoft, and he's looking for a new job. And Ahmed, you're the best career coach there is. Ahmed, I want to introduce you to Jonathan. Jonathan, I want to introduce you to Ahmed. He's a leader at Microsoft. He went to Indeed and led their professional development, and now he's the best career coach money can buy. He's going to help you get that job faster, lickety split. Then I sign off with, I'll let you two gentlemen take it from here. That's the email, sent and done. I give context to why the introduction is being made, and I make both parties look like they're my best friend and they're the most amazing in the world. This is the art of a good introduction, because a good introduction brings you together in trust. You're borrowing the trust that you have for me. You both trust me. You don't know each other, but I'm lending my trust that I have in both of you that you'll both treat each other well. It's a good. That's what a good introduction is. You can get your next job much faster with a great introduction email. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to see if we have any questions. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, can you give me the permission to share my screen, Ahmed?
I think you should have it. Did you try?
Only meeting organizers and presenters can share, it says.
Okay, hold on. Just give me a second here. I'll give you that access.
If anyone has any questions, you can chat them into the chat box or unmute yourself.
Okay, I think you should have it now.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to give you this QR code. You can take out your phone and scan it. Oh, I think it's giving me that page. There we go. All right, this is a QR code to my Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram and you can message me and you can say, I'm watching you on Ahmed's networking class. And you can ask me any follow-up questions there. I'll be happy to share with you my LinkedIn. You can get to my LinkedIn and other resources through the bio in Instagram. So it's the best place to start.
Majid,
and I want to encourage you.
Sorry to interrupt you, Majid.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if it's mine or everybody else, but the pixelation, I think, on the QR, yeah, I think now it's working. Before the pixelation was so large, it's not picking up. Right now it's picking up. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the feedback, and let me know if that one works for you.
It did work, yeah.
Yeah, it's working for me too.
Okay. So I'm going to offer you all something a little special, and I'm going to encourage you to get some support, if you like. If you're in the job search, you will get better results when you have a coach, because the coach will give you a plan and will help you stick to the plan until you get the job offer. Now, the key to winning this phase in your life, getting your next job, is not just to get any job offer, it's to get a great job offer. And even better than a great job offer is to get multiple great job offers. So you feel like you don't need to, I don't have to take this one. I have multiple job offers and I'm confident that I'll get even more job offers until you really have the one that you like. Now, if you try to do this on your own, eventually you will get a job. It might take you 6 months. It might take you 12 months. It might take you 2 years. But I will tell you, as a man, ladies, you might be exempt to this, but as a man, I can't live with myself when I'm not working, when I'm not providing, when I'm not getting things done. And it's demoralizing to go 6 months, 8 months, 12 months with no job offer. So I want to encourage you to work with Ahmed, because Ahmed will get you a better job offer faster. I'm sure he can't promise that, but he will get you doing the right things more, some of the wrong things less, and you'll get more job offers sooner with better salaries, better benefits, because nobody knows the job market like Ahmed. And right now, it's never been harder. If you're trying to get a job, it's never been harder. This is not the time to try to figure it out on your own. This is the time to hire Ahmed. So I want to make you an offer that if you buy something from Ahmed today, I will give you a one-on-one consultation on your personal brand and your story. This is what I do for entrepreneurs and leaders to help you become a better leader and market yourself more effectively, is to really understand your story and how to tell your story that's different from anybody else. And so when I work with a business owner on this, I charge $1,000 US for a 1-hour consultation where we build your story, which is how you describe who you are, the skills that you've accomplished, the abilities that you have in a way that's different and unique and attractive to your ideal job. So as I understand it, Ahmed has 3 options. You can purchase his time, or you can partner with him to until you get a job. He will work with you until you get a job and take a percentage of your salary when you get the job. That's option number 2. And option number 3 is you join this group coaching program that's a very affordable price. I'll let Ahmed go over the offers with you, but I want to encourage you to hire Ahmed today, and I want to incentivize and bonus that with one of my consultations. So I'll let you and Ahmed figure out how that's going to work. I do know that his group program is only $200 for a month. So if money is any issue, that's very affordable, but you can get your job faster when you have a coach. Today, I talked with you about meeting people, getting contact information, following up, making introductions, having a personal brand, putting video out there on social media so that people can get to know you faster between connections. My name is Majid, like magic. I'll see you on the internet. For those of you who followed me on Instagram, I'm happy to take your questions. And Ahmed, I'll leave the floor back to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Majid. Really appreciate, all the wisdom that you shared, all those, inspiring questions that made us think about, effective networking and how to be more impactful. And thanks for your offer, for this 1 hour worth $1,000. And I'm sure it's really worth, because I've seen this myself. I've been into many events that Majid is leading. He's phenomenal. He makes us really think about the most important things that would help us with our business or help us with our careers, help us build a story effectively in a very smart way. So thank you so much, Majid. It's time for the selfie. If you guys want to be a celebrity for this call, it's time to put the camera on and join the selfie. You will join Majid like magic, and that's how you get visibility on LinkedIn. I use this poster normally, or the screenshot, to advertise for those calls on LinkedIn, social media, and others. So if you're ready, I'll just do the gallery mode. So guys, be ready to join the selfie. Just give me a second here. Let me do the together mode. And anyone else want to join? I'll give it a few seconds here. Anyone else? Okay, so I'll say 1, 2, 3, and smile. Awesome. Thank you so much, Majid. And thank you so much, everybody who joined today. If you have any questions, this is the right time to ask questions now. Majid is always open to support. I know that maybe you don't have a lot of time, Majid, but let's maybe take 10-15 minutes if you're okay with that. Okay, Ash, you have a question. Feel free to unmute and ask your question.
Hey, yeah, Assalamualaikum. I'm just curious about, what would be your advice for somebody like me that come from the tech background, but I'm looking to more leadership management position. My problem is I don't have, or I feel like I don't have as much as leadership management experience, but I'm a little rusty on the technical side as well. So I feel like I'm caught in between, and networking isn't my strongest, even though I do think I'm a people person. Distinct networking isn't something that I'm used to. So just wanted to get your thoughts and advice, just specifically.
Sure. Goodbye. I'm looking to see if there's a whiteboard feature here. Is there?
There is a whiteboard, but I think it could take time to load.
Okay. So imagine a big circle right here. We call that tech background. And there's another big circle right here. We call that leadership. And where the two intersect, that's where Ash has an unfair advantage. There's lots of people who are good with the leadership, but only some of them that have the tech background Ash has. There's lots of people who have a tech background, but not all of them have the leadership skill. So where those two things intersect is what makes you unique as a leader and what makes you unique as a technical person. Now, if we can imagine a third circle intersecting, where maybe Ash, that's Indian culture or speaking Indian language, or being from India. I'm not sure if you're South Asian, I'm assuming. And that's unique too. And maybe we can do one more circle that's like, Ash works really well on big teams. He's really great at communicating on big teams. And now we're getting to what's more and more unique about your brand. So whenever you're transitioning from one role to another role, then you want your brand to reflect the role that you're going to, and yet still honor the role that you had. So for example, if I'm a math teacher and I'm becoming a basketball coach, then I'm a math teacher turned basketball coach. And that makes me as a basketball coach more interesting. Maybe I'm going to do my plays a little bit more mathematically or a little bit more methodically, or I'm going to look at people's statistics and analyze where they're most likely to win the shots based on statistics because I have a math brain. So you see the overlapping Venn diagram, the overlapping circles, and the past becoming into the present, into the future is the story of your brand. So the story of the Ash brand is tech person turned leader. Now, how does that happen? Well, it either comes from his drive to become a leader, or it comes from the world demanding he becomes a leader. So there's a story framework called the reluctant hero. And the reluctant hero says, I never wanted to be a leader. I liked being IT. I liked doing the technical stuff, but my team kept demanding me to lead. My boss kept on wanting me to run the project. And now here I am in leadership. But I always just liked the computers. That's the reluctant hero. So you have a story. The reluctant hero is very likable because, they're not just a power hungry leader. They're a leader that's been called to lead. So that's a bit about Ash's story, a bit about what makes him different, because not all leaders have tech. Not all tech has leadership. Did I answer your question, Ash?
Yeah, it gives some insight. I think I like what you said about the reluctant leader, and that's where that's kind of been my story so far. Because the positions I've been in the past is I haven't really interviewed for leadership positions. It's more like getting told to lead, basically.
And what would you like to happen in the next 6 months, Ash?
Get employed again, basically. I would like a leadership position, similar to what I've had, but IC roles just is also fine for me. So open to both.
Great. So leadership or technical role. And your brand right now, your story is that you have technical background and leadership experience. You're feeling a little bit rusty with your technical background, and you're feeling a little bit underdeveloped in your leadership areas. Yeah. But you're still perfect for the right role. So I would, if I were you, start to think about what makes you different as a leader. Because any leadership role is going to have a lot of applicants, and they will need to figure out how you're different. Not just better, not necessarily better, different.
Got it. Yeah, what makes me unique, basically. So that's something to think about.
Yeah. Now, we didn't get much into interviews, but ultimately, skills are trainable, but culture is usually either a fit or not. And so for you to understand their culture, what's that?
Yeah, good insight. Yeah.
So understanding their culture, and I define culture as the way we do things around here, and seeing how you can first of all, know if you're a good fit, and secondly, to demonstrate that you're a good fit for the culture. I will give you guys my favorite interview question. This one got some hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok and hundreds of comments saying, I used this and it worked. It's the one question that I always recommend saying in a job interview. It's a long and complicated question, so I'll say it twice. It goes like this. They get to the point in the interview, they say, well, do you have any questions for us? And you say, yes, I do. You say, let's say you were to hire me. And I start working and the results are better than you could have expected. And after a year of working together, we have a 1-year anniversary meeting during which you say to me, Ash, hiring you is the best decision we ever made. What would have to happen between now and a year from today for you to feel that hiring me was the best decision you ever made? So there's a long setup to the question. It's a long setup to the question. I'll repeat the question one more time. What would have to happen between now and a year from now for you to feel like hiring me was the best decision you ever made? You could ask just that question just like that, but I like to kind of paint the picture. I say, let's say you were to hire me today and I get started and I'm doing better than you could have possibly imagined. And a year from now, we're having a 1-year anniversary progress report, annual review meeting. And you open up the meeting by saying, man, Ash, hiring you was the best decision I ever made. I want this person to see and feel all of that good feelings associated to hiring me. And then asking themselves, well, what would have to happen for me to feel? What would have to happen for me to feel like hiring you was the best decision I ever made? And whatever they tell you, you listen really carefully as though there's like $100,000 on the line. You're on a game show and there's a $100,000 prize. If you listen very carefully and you can say it back to them so that they feel heard, that you understand them. So they say whatever. They say, well, you know, if you did this, this, and this, I would feel really good about it. And you say it back to them and you say, did I hear you correctly? And they say, yes, you heard me correctly. And you say, perfect. That's exactly what we'll do. When would you like me to start? It gives them this sense of, okay, he really gets what I want and he really knows what we're looking for. And he says we're going to do that. Okay, good. It's a great line. By the way, I've had a total of 13 interviews and a total of 13 job offers. I've never had an interview without a job offer. And when I come in so different. I bring in folders with my resume, my cover list, and they have a label maker with my name on it so that they can file it under my name. And then I proceed to have the wildest interview they've ever had, where they're just blown away by the level of preparation. Because I don't want to be as good or a little bit better. I want to be so much better than everybody else coming into an interview that they would feel silly not making the job offer to me. Okay, I see some questions coming in the chat. Okay, how do I get
just wanted to add to
it? Go ahead,
Just wanted to add to that. I mean, that's what you said works perfectly with, like, you know, your behavioral type or, you know, your project program management sort of interviews. The challenge is, you know, when you have your technical rounds, right? You can't, like, you know, for somebody with engineering background that you know, they expect you to code and know this tools and that tool and all that. That's where I think it's difficult to basically wow them, right? If you don't have the right experience or the right know-how.
So if you can identify exactly what you need to know and have in terms of experience and know-how, and establish that you know what is required and that you are currently on a path to mastery in those areas, which you can do by simply starting, then that's the best position you can be in right now. You can't give yourself 10 years experience when you need 10 years experience, but you can find what's different about you now and focus on that part aligned to what they need, which is their answer to the question, what would make them feel like hiring you was the best decision they ever made? You can also ask, that question evokes a feeling and wants them to feel like they've hired you and that it's the best decision they've ever made. But if you could say, if you had to measure my success and progress within the first 6 months, what would be the key metrics you would look at that would determine whether or not I'm doing a great job or not a great job? That's a way of saying, how do you measure success? And if you demonstrate that you know what the measurement is and that you can confidently achieve those metrics, then you say, perfect, that's exactly what we'll do. When would you like me to start?
Yeah.
You have to be super confident in you.
Yeah.
They can't be more confident in you than you are in you. And so you need to know that whatever job you take, Ash, you're going to crush it because you're dedicated to making those first 90 days, first 6 months, first year, making them feel like, wow, I'm glad we hired that guy.
Majid, if you don't mind, just a small interjection here on Ash's referring to now when you are presenting that confident in your skin and you've done that for a long time, Ash looks at himself that I don't have that. And what is missing here, Ash, is you think it's going to be a button, like you're going to tomorrow do that on the interview. That's why Majid was talking about that coaching where you get to practice that curve until you get to that point where you're doing. We relate to it like, oh, okay, I can't be like Majid. If I go tomorrow in an interview, I can't say that. And maybe that is the case. But if you practice over 4 or 5 interviews, you'll be able to deliver that. We always relate to things as a switch. I have it or I don't have it. We don't relate to it as a curve, right? I'm going to practice that until I will master that technique that he's telling me about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I heard, Mo, is that he's referring to some technical requirements that he doesn't have. No matter how charming he may be with his fancy question. And I say your skills are what they are now, and if you know they need to be better, then the best you can do is be on a path to mastery now. All right, I'm going to take one more question. Sure. How do I get leads for MSP company?
Yeah, that was my question. But by the way, thank you, Majid. Really appreciate.
My pleasure. What is MSP company?
Well, it's a managed service provider as a IT tech company. I do have a job, so. That's not the main reason, but I do have a company, so we have we already have a IT training facility here in Ottawa. Now we're trying to get into the market as an IT managed service provider. Yeah. So we deal directly with other business, so we manage their IT business. So it's really hard for me to get in and then get a contract, either from government, either from municipalities, or private companies.
Yeah. So we're starting with the same fundamental question as though if you have a job, if you're looking for a job, the fundamental question starts with the word who. And who questions ask for name answers. Who's the tallest person in the NBA? The answer is a name. So who is the person that can hire me? The answer is a name. Who is the person that can become a client of us? The answer is a name. It's not a company. There's a person at that company who will sign the contracts. Now, if you go to that person, you knock on the door, you say, hi, I'm Omar. You don't know who I am. You don't need me. You don't even know if you have a problem, but let me tell you, I can help you. It works sometimes. It's annoying. And you got to talk to a lot of people. And a lot of people say, get out of here. I didn't call you. I don't need you. That's when you're cold calling. That's when you're emailing them. That's when you're direct outreach to them. Okay, one thing that's a little better is now offering free full system audits. System diagnosis, we'll look at what's going on and we'll make some recommendations. That's a little bit more valuable, right? But now take the approach that I took, which is you become an expert, you become a presenter, maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe you have a podcast, maybe you have something that the CEO of your potential client's company wants to learn from you. So to answer your question more effectively, can you tell me, like, what's an ideal company contract that you would like to get, Omar?
Well, mostly manage their day-to-day IT issues and their network.
So is that like a $10 million company that's in construction, or is that like a Department of Agriculture?
Mostly will be the construction company who will basically at the same time say is that the one who lay down all the networking cable when the construction or any construction is done. So subcontracting directly from them, that will make easy.
There you go. Now, let's say there's 10 companies like that in Ottawa. Maybe there's 100. How many in Ottawa you think?
Less than 15. Just in Ottawa.
Okay. So one of those 15 is going to be your next client. So those are your leads. If you want them coming to you, then figure out where are they meeting? Like, are they having an annual conference? Are they having an annual gala? Are they having an annual seminar? And can you be a sponsor? Can you be a guest speaker, guest expert? So if they're coming to you and learning from you, or they're seeing you in a place that they already trust and they already gather, that's a good way for you to meet them. And you want to speak to their pain. So what's the biggest pain in the neck for them that they're dealing with, and how can you be the solution to their problem? So again, when you're networking with them, you say, what's your biggest challenge right now? And how can I be the answer to your problems?
I think, Omar, if you
so
may...
you should know the names of the owners of all 15 companies, and they should all know your name too.
And Omar, maybe you want to benefit from those, trainings and retreats that Majid is holding. He's always connected with so many people, not only in Ottawa, actually in the whole world. He do retreats in Portugal, he does retreats in New York, Austin, everywhere. Majid is very, very well connected, and he will maybe help you, depending on, again, the targets, to land those leads somehow. And again, building your story is definitely more effective on when you meet those leads to convince them about, your offering and how to really be the right candidate or the right company to be contracted.
Definitely, yeah. I will take, I think, your offer. So I will contact Ahmed through the WhatsApp, and then from there we'll just connect.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Sounds good. Okay.
All right, everybody. I'm off to play pickleball with the Ferrari guy.
Awesome. Majid, we can't thank you enough. This was amazing. Tons of wisdom. This is very interactive, very engaging. I love the way that you deliver this. As usual, you've done this with Microsoft. There was 400 people and more who were really happy. Until now, I still remember the feel no do from the Microsoft days. And looking forward to having you in the job fair. The job fair, we're expecting to get 1,000 people or more this month. Last month it was the same. We have great panel list and guest speakers, and Majid is going to be part of that panel. So stay tuned, and feel free to spread the word about Majid's work, about my work, and those webinars. We'll hopefully get Majid to come back someday again in this session and support you with your journey. Thank you so much, Majid. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Take care.
Everybody.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.